G'day, Ma'am Susie. Our topic will be on Lesson 5, Justice and Fairness, Promoting the Common Good. So before we will expound on the justice and fairness, this theory can be tracked by the philosopher John Rawls. So John Rawls is one of the important political philosophers during the 20th century. He received an academic training at Princeton University, and the later part of his career, which is being a philosophy professor, is at Harvard University. His main work, A Theory of Justice, is published in 1971. Rawls proposes justice as fairness as an ethical framework. This framework focuses on how justice should be distributed that would yield fairness for those who have more and for those who have less. So he refers fairness to equity and not equality. There are different definitions of justice, just as different thinkers in the respective field of specialization. For John Rawls, he understands justice where fairness among members of society with the goal of promoting their common good. Justice for him embraces not only sociological dimension but also includes the political and socio-economic as well. Whereas for Plato, he defines justice as harmony, where three groups of people in the society is working together for the common goal. Rawls speaks of fairness in terms of equality and equity. He acknowledges that there are certain just distributions that are governed by existing principles. So the first principle is fairness. Rawls claims that every member of the society should have equal rights and liberties. These rights and liberties refer to the political condition of every citizen. Most of the time, this principle of fairness is influenced by socio-economic institution. While the second principle, which is of difference, Rawls acknowledges that there cannot be a just distribution in the society in terms of socio-economic goods, because according to him, unequal socio-economic status among members of society. He highlights that these inequalities should benefit the least advantaged member of the society, and that opportunities must be given through employment. These two principles are not independent from each other. So a common view about what a just society is that every member treats each other in a just way. We want to treat other people justly and we want them to treat us exactly the same way too. Rawls' idea is different from that of Plato, which it speaks of justice as every member of the society, which is the philosopher king, the military, and the laborer, acts harmoniously according to assigned roles. Rules justice is very much emphasized in taking into consideration the interest of every member of society. Before Rawls speaks about what a just society is, he first laid the foundation of a social order. Just like any political philosophers, he would consider order as first things first to a just society. He talked about the rules and sanctions that put social order or social affairs into place. He underscored that rules and social order should be construed as our moral obligation to obey because rules are there for us to obey and follow for the sake of social order. However, since we have a biased mind that rules are impartial, we tend to have a question, which is, are the rules implemented can accommodate all people without discrimination? Thus, rules formulate an idea of original position. Original position is the beginning for rules theory. It is basically putting things in place where it creates a favorable condition for justice to exist. It is an imaginary idea to speak about this position, but Rawls believed that it is important and that this can be the basis of justifying his belief. According to Rawls, the world's situation is unjust when one thinks of unjust rules. Thus, he introduces the anonymity condition. which rejects the moral relevance of a threat advantage. The reason why rules endorse the anonymity condition is because we cannot but doubt that rules are created with partiality. In anonymity condition, one knows nothing about the particular individual's gender, skin, color, natural endowments, temperament, interest, taste, and preferences. These two elements, the original position and anonymity condition, when observed well, would result to justice as fairness. These two elements can be summed into what he calls the veil of ignorance. Due to the veil of ignorance, it creates a just condition where there is no threat advantage to anyone, and everyone is seen from the point of view of fairness. So the barometer of justice as fairness is that when one wants to accept a social order that is just, you just have to see to it that the object of agreement is fair, take into account the interest of all members of such society equally. There are different theories of justice, and Rawls speaks of justice as distributive. Distributive justice is everyone in the society has to share both the burden and the benefit of whatever the society offers. If one enjoys the benefit, one also has to accept the burden. So nobody enjoys only the benefits without taking the burden, or purely burden without taking the benefit. The content of benefits and burdens will be discussed on the next discussions and the next presenter.
My name is Neri, and in continuation of distributive justice, I'm going to discuss about the principles of distributive justice. First is the egalitarian, second is the capitalist, and third is the socialist. So let's discuss about egalitarian distributive justice. So what is egalitarian distributive justice? This egalitarian distributive justice is a philosophy based on equality, and it is namely that all people are should be equal and deserve equal treatment in all things. So it means that the egalitarian theory of distributive justice, it emphasizes equality and equal treatment across the gender, race, religion, economics, status, and political benefits. So the egalitarianism may focus on income inequality and the distribution of wealth and the development of various economic and political systems and policies. For example, in the United States, for the Equal Pay Act requires the men and the women in the same workplace be given equal pay for equal work. So the job needs to be identical, but they must be substantially equal. So there are two kinds of distributive justice under egalitarian. So first is the political egalitarian, second is the economic egalitarian. So what is political egalitarian? So this is where the legal rights of every citizen are equally observed. So it means that in the exercise of the right to suffrage, it's not only intended for the few citizens, so it should be every citizen of the country should have the right to choose who who is her or his political candidate should be given the powers to govern them. Second is the economic egalitarian. So it is where the distribution of socio-economic goods are equally observed. So it means that the socio-economic goods it refers to those the basic necessities like primarily the food, clothing, and the shelter that would enable each citizen to have and live a decent life. So capitalist is one. concerned with just a distribution in terms of receiving one's share according to how much one contributes to the overall success of the goal of the institution where one is employed. So one receives one's sharing according to the proportion of one's condition. So if one contributes more, one receives more. If one contributes less, the less one receives. For example, is a working student talks about his time spent as a library employee. When he has a free time, he gets paid 20 pesos per hour. And his salary or allowance is based on the quantity of hours she or he worked. He will be paid 80 pesos for hours of duty and 120 pesos for 6 and 40 pesos for 2 hours. That is, in the eyes of the capitalist, an illustration of distributive fairness. Next is the socialist distributive justice. It means that one is concerned with just distribution in terms of one's needs. So we have various needs in life, and if we want to achieve those needs, we need to work hard according to the amount of needs we have. If one has a greater needs, then one expects that his share is greater in the distribution scheme and vice versa. So this means that according to this concept, work burdens should to be distributed according to people's abilities and benefits. It should also be distributed according to people's needs. It also means that work should be distributed in such a way that a person can be productive as possible. For example, according to people's ability. The benefits produced should be used to promote human happiness and well-being. The socialist view is based on the notion that societies should be communities in which benefits and burdens are distributed on model of a family. In all, these are the principles of distributive justice. First is the egalitarian, means to distribute equally to everyone. Second is the capitalist, which distribute by contributions. Socialist is distributed by the need and the ability. And let's just end this with a note that let, let justice and fairness flow like a river that never goes dry by Amos 5:24.
The state and citizens' responsibilities to each other, the principle of taxation and exclusive growth. The Philippines 1987 Constitution grants local governments the power to collect taxes from citizens. The citizens having an obligation to support the government's assistance through monetary contributions. This power is based on necessity and practical duty. The government collects money for its operations, and citizens have responsibilities toward each other. The concept of rights and duties is essential to this relationship, as all citizens have the right to be treated as human by others and protect their rights from being violated. Taxation plays a crucial role in this mutual exchange between the states and citizens. Why we need to pay taxes? As recipients of state benefits, we must delegate our responsibility by paying taxes to ensure smooth social and political projects. Taxes collected from the people are used for public needs like construction, healthcare, education, and welfare. There should be steady cooperation between the states and the people. However, the benefits received principal have problems, as all taxpayers pay taxes both directly and indirectly to the government. Some government projects are only for a portion of the population, and benefits given to the poor are not given to all who have roofs and decent jobs. This result is no fair play on this matter. The role of economics and inclusive growth. Economics focuses on scarce resources and aims to produce them abundantly for society's benefit. Different economic models exist, but most countries recommend scaling economic growth from macro level to macro level to ensure prosperity for all. Regional economic growth often involves the growth of the pie, with the majority enjoyed by the few, leading to inequality. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, reports that the wealthiest individuals hold 90% of the world's wealth, while the poor only hold 3%. This inequality persists, leading to a lack of growth for many. Inclusive growth aims to increase resource production and sustain people's well-being by distributing resources from macro level to micro levels. This approach creates opportunities for all people, addressing their aspiration, capabilities, productivity, and opportunities. Taxation plays a critical role in achieving growth. And